Howdy YouTube folks, it's your friendly spirit of the wolf, Bushwicked, and if you haven't noticed, I'm very sorry about it. I just dawned on me now, but because of the camera I don't have a flip around device when I'm recording because I'm using my phone, so you won't see my face in the beginning, which a lot of you probably hope to see. See, and it looks more professional, and I am sorry for that aspect. I have picked up on that. Anyways, it's your friendly. On to today's video is, or when I put this up, video is going to be on the answers for the quiz that I put up on my channel that I haven't put a answer video up. And let's start with this one. It's the G8 vacuum tester, and this tester was used for three things. Right here, let's start with your compression. This is your compression, so if you get up to a 10, that's really good. 5 is okay, and 0, of course, not so good. Right here is where you check your fuel. So if you get up to a 7, that's excellent. That means you have top-notch pressure. But if you get to like a 5, which is mid, it's okay. And 3, you want to check that definitely at 3, because if you get down to 3, yeah, that's not too good, because then you have quarter compression and your fuel's not getting up. And the reason they had a fuel pressure is because of the fact that some of the older cars back in the day had a pressurized system for their fuel tanks, and that's what this was for back in the early days when there was such thing as fuel pressure. I believe they have fuel pressure now still, kind of, but because of sending units, that takes care of that. And usually nowadays it's like, okay, yeah, you're not getting fuel to your thing, that's sending unit issue, versus this had more of a manual system, so it could be probably a bunch of things from maybe your float is sticking in your gas tank, or you have a valve or something that's stuck shut, stuff like that. So stuff was more simpler to fix, I believe, back in these times, but back when they were making stuff like this, but it wasn't always. It was more of like hard. There was a little bit of, it could be hardness to it if you were trying to trace things, of course, on your engine. But anyways, so that's pretty much what this is. And it also has a timing, an ignition timing check. So it goes from a 15 to 20. 15 is a red, which is okay. And then 20 is normal. You typically don't want it too far in the red, I should clarify. 5 is pretty good on this. 10 is up there, but as far as compression goes, I think you would want to be in 10. As far as the timing, you might not want to be, say, fully in 15. But anyways, that's pretty much covers this one. It comes with a case and different fittings. Next, we have the engine-powered tire pump. Okay, so a lot of you are probably wondering why you would need a tire pump that's powered by your engine, which was a thing they did back in the day. And notice they don't that I'm aware of, I should say, that they don't sell these anymore, and there's a lot of reasons for that, and I will get into that a little bit. This was designed so you could pull your spark plug out of your engine in one of the cylinders, screw that end that goes into the cylinder with the threads, and then stick your other end with the gauge onto your tire, and you could pump it. There's two problems with this that I foresee. Well, at least one problem, maybe two. For one, this is probably the biggest problem of it, is that I guess to tie it into one whole big problem with this is that you're skipping on your engine because, of course, you're not getting spark on that one cylinder, so that cylinder might be dead acting because it doesn't have the juice going to the cylinder. And you're also risk damaging your engine by doing that, because if you get any oil that goes by it, for say, if you didn't seat it right, because the oil's shooting upwards with the piston and circulating around. It's not really touching the spark plug, but when it has that opening in that one spot, it can. And you risk damaging your engine by using these. So if you have one of these and you have an older vehicle and say you absolutely had to use it, they work okay, but I wouldn't recommend using it all the time. I think I would want one that you could plug into your car's dash. I have to hand it to modern cars nowadays. That is the thing. See, my truck doesn't have that, and I plan on putting this in my truck, but I'm hoping I don't have to use it as often, because you do risk that chance you could damage the engine. That's one of the major downfalls with this stuff. As you can see, this is international made, and it was designed for the international tractors. Probably like I'm going to say a 59 484, I think they are. The 59s is most likely when they designed this, for the style of the tractor on it. But it could have been made in the 60s. And I'm going to say around 59 to 60s when they made the 484, I believe. Well, I'll have to look up it again. I think it's the 484 model, because the 686 came later in the 70s, which was similar, and they basically were similar styles, just different mechanical setups, because they're newer, and they had slight mechanical changes, but it was from the 8 lineup. I think they called it the 8 series lineup that they did, because it always had an 8 following in the center of it on the number of the tractor for what model it was. Anyways, so yeah, this is probably where this was most likely used for, and you risk that too with something like that. So the final one, it's got the red cloth with it. This was for a flag that you could tie. The cloth was a flag you could tie to your bumper, and or a place where people could see it on your vehicle, truck or car, whatever you had that was broken down. And they were a set of tow reflectors. And these weren't actual lights, they were reflectors, so at night you could see at night, or if the sun hit them the right way, they would reflect off and give a low light, so people could say know that you were broke down so you would see it when somebody was towing a vehicle, rather. And that's a good thing to have if you're broke down and say you're having a family member tow you. Nowadays they have tow lights in the whole tow light package, and they have that all built in onto tow trucks nowadays. And most people get tow trucks to pick up their cars when they're broke down, but say if you can't afford it and you have a family member, these are handy to have. I don't know if they're legal to necessarily use. I'll have to look that up, because I was planning on using this in my truck, but who knows, it might not be legal to use one of these. I would think it would, because as long as the sun reflects it and you put it in the right spot, I don't see why nobody wouldn't notice that, especially with a flag hanging off it, because they'd be curious and wondering. So I don't see why it would be outlawed, but you never know the way modern law is nowadays. Anyways, that will do it for this series, this video. YouTubers, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please, if you wouldn't mind commenting down below if you disliked my video. Just comment in general is great, but if you disliked my video, if you definitely please wouldn't mind commenting down below, just because I want to get your input and what I could do better as usual. Don't forget to keep your heads up, stay strong, all that kind of jazz, and have an excellent time, whatever it is, wherever you are. And see you later, YouTubers, in the next video.